Unit 2, Lesson 4, Encouraging the Construction of Knowledge and Self-Directed Learners. In this lesson, we will look at what is self-directed learning, what are the stages of self-directed learning, and how to encourage self-directed learners in your organisation. A self-directed learner is one which takes responsibility for their own learning. It is important that you give learners the confidence to identify opportunities for learning and how to construct their own knowledge. This is a key skill in problem-based learning. Learners must be encouraged to search for their own knowledge and learning material. Trainers must organise experiences that allow learners to develop their own knowledge and understanding. As mentioned previously, individuals in their personal lives often search for and apply new knowledge. However, in a business context for which other people are responsible, they do not feel they have the expertise or authority to construct or develop new knowledge. Guiding learners to do this by providing them with the skills and expertise to enable them to search for and apply relevant knowledge is key. Some people are naturally self-motivated and directed. Others are not and need to develop confidence in order to become self-directed. Grow developed a stage model which guided learners through stages of self-directed learning. There is 4 stages of self-directed learning. The first stage are dependent learners, which need to be given information. They are totally resistant to being independent in any way and wish to stick to routine, definite tasks. Moderately self-directed learners are interested in becoming independent but need to be motivated to take more responsibility. Learners of intermediate self-directed direction are prepared to explore ideas, however they still need some guidance. Their confidence needs to be built a little bit more and they need guidance about their learning approaches and if these are successful. Learners of high self-direction are completely self-directed and are capable of setting their own goals. They have a high level of autonomy and they can manage projects, self-evaluate their own work and use critical information gathering and evaluation techniques to develop the required knowledge for the learner exercise. Now we will look at each stage and how to develop self-directed learners at each stage of the model. For stage 1 learners, you need to develop a self-directed learner that is capable of constructing their own knowledge. To do this, you must start to delegate small definite tasks to build their own confidence. To support these, you must have exact guidelines and be clear about what you expect from them. For example, I'm looking for information on applying for quality standards. Would you mind having a look at the ISO website and see what the application process is? What material needs to be submitted, who it needs to be submitted to, and how it needs to be submitted. For stage 2 learners, the trainer can start to delegate larger, less definite tasks. The task can be more loosely structured and less definite than in stage 1. You will need to sell the importance of the task to the learner to motivate them. It's important to praise them throughout the execution of the task and after completion. For example, we're thinking about applying for ISO certification. It's a really important project as we have had many potential customers asking us if we have the certification and some are reluctant to do business with us because of this. If we are successful, we can attract new customers and expand the company. I need you to look into what are the main criteria we need to satisfy for certification. You might want to speak to the evaluator. Their details are on the website, and also our supplier Joe Blogs underwent this process recently, so you might be able to speak to them. For stage 3 learners, it's possible to use more abstract tasks for knowledge construction opportunities. Learners should be more focused on their learning approaches and if they are successful. The learner and trainer collaborate and meet to discuss what the learner will need to focus on in the task and agree intermediate goals. The learner will then deliver these goals for further feedback and guidance. The trainer will ask the learner to explain how they constructed this information, what was the approach they used, and if it was successful or not. This allows the learner to reflect on their learning strategies and again articulate their mental models. An example would be, could you put together a proposal detailing the measures we need to implement in the organisation for ISO certification? What do you think we will need to focus on? Come back with a draft in a week and we'll discuss and revise. On return with the draft, the learners ask questions such as, where did you obtain this information from? Why is it important? How it was gathered? And how they would apply it. For Stage 4 learners, it is important that the trainer allows an autonomy and independence. They allocate the learner a task that is challenging and provides opportunities for the learner to thrive. Here, the trainer holds regular meetings to provide the learner with the opportunity to discuss their learning and collaborate with others. Learners should be encouraged to collaborate, think in the long term. The trainer can challenge or probe the learner by asking questions and allowing them to self-evaluate their mental models. An example of a task would be, could you develop a project with your peers to achieve ISO certification? We will meet weekly to discuss your progress or any issues you have. The task for this lesson asks you to identify strategies for dealing with learners at each stage of the self-directed learning model. Identify the task you would allocate them and why, and how would you support them in this task and why you would do it in this way.